Hello everybody, Gage here from Sharp. So excited to have you back with me for another video. We've got some really cool content coming out for you guys, and in today's episode we're going to show you our shop tour of Shigeki Tanaka-san's shop located in Miki City. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we had the amazing opportunity of visiting a number of different blacksmiths during our trip to Japan. We were there from the 9th to the 19th, and the trip was filled with a lot of learning, a lot of drinking sake and biru, and eating a lot of delicious food. We piled in the car on the morning of the 13th in Echizen City, where we had previously visited the Takefu knife village. We piled in the car and drove all the way down from Echizen to Miki City, again where Shigeki Tanaka-san's shop is located. He lives not far away from his shop as well. His shop is located sort of in like a little suburban area. There's a bunch of homes all kind of nestled in there, but there are some other manufacturing shops located not far from his. I'm not exactly sure what they make there, but his shop looks like and probably has been there for close to, if not over 100 years. His father was a blacksmith as well, and he primarily focused on agricultural tools, but the shop doesn't look like it's changed much in the last 100 years. There's old equipment all over the place. My anxiety was a little through the roof just looking at all the clutter everywhere. But he makes it work. He pumps out knives and really beautiful stuff as well. So the way the tour kind of worked is we arrived, we had a quick little chat with him, and then he quickly got us into the shop. He wanted to show off some cool stuff so we could get some video, and what he showed us was how he forge welds his knives. If you're unfamiliar, forge welding just means to combine two pieces of steel with heat and pressure. So in this case, he was using iron as his cladding and carbon steel at the core. So the first thing that he did was obviously put the stock into the furnace, get it red hot. He taught us that you want the steel color to match the color of the flames inside the forge. So you wait a little while for that to heat up, and then start hammering, drawing it out with a round die, and then further drawing out that iron and getting it ready to put the carbon steel in. Before he does that, he cleans off the iron as best he can, adds a little flux, and then gently places the piece of carbon steel onto the iron with the flux on there, and then throws it back in the furnace. We learned that you don't want to apply a ton of pressure at this point. We want to make sure that everything heats up evenly and really red hot, so we get good lamination occurring. So back into the furnace it goes, again getting nice and red hot before he takes it out and starts using the spring hammer to forge weld it together. It was really impressive to see him working with the spring hammer. He really makes it look easy, forging the knife to its rough shape, getting the nice tip formed on it, and then shaping the tang of the knife, doing that really cool flipping back and forth thing that he does. Trust me, it's not as easy as it looks. Once he got all that shaped, cuts the blade off, and it's ready to go for the secondary forging stage, which he did not show us today, but once that's finished, they throw it back in the oven and further draw it out and shape it more. After he showed us how to forge weld a knife, he gave us the amazing opportunity to jump in on the spring hammer and attempt to make a knife ourselves. This did not go well, if I'm putting it politely, but it was an awesome experience. I've never had the opportunity to make a knife or anything by hand, for that matter. So it was really cool to jump on the spring hammer and get behind the furnace and just see kind of what goes on back there. It is very hot. Everything is very heavy, and the spring hammer is like a wild animal. You barely touch the thing and the frickin' hammer starts going, and it's very difficult to understand like how you gotta push the thing to get the hammer to just knock like gently. So I think I did all right, but obviously I'm gonna need a lot of practice before I'm making knives for myself. He then taught us his cool little trick where he spins the knife around, which is really cool. And then after I was on the spring hammer, Jake got an opportunity to jump on there as well. we both did equally as terrible as one another, I would say. But again, awesome experience. After that, we kind of just poked around the shop a little bit. He was telling us about different steels that he's working with, showing off some of the more unique stuff that he makes. He then took us over to his handle attaching room, where he has all of his boxes and knives that are ready to ship out, hanging out in there. I don't know if we got any footage of it, but he showed us these really cool, like, did we get any footage of that? Well, hopefully we have some footage of it, but he makes these like crazy ornate knives with like wings and stuff coming out the back. He's got a couple, like, they look like more kid-friendly knives with no tip on them. The tip kind of rounds up, and then it's got like, one of them was like a butterfly. I know I have a picture of that, so I can show that to you guys. That was super cool. The folders he showed us as well. Those were cool. He showed us, he makes razors as well. Jake has one of his razors, so it was kind of cool to share with Tanaka-san that we already have one of his razors and get a lot of use out of it. So all in all, it was a super awesome visit. It was always really cool to connect with the blacksmiths. You know, the last trip we took was 3 years ago to Japan, so there's obviously been a bit of a disconnect between the knives we're getting into the shop and the blacksmiths themselves. So always an enjoyable experience going, talking with the blacksmiths, and sort of understanding some of their problems, but also just kind of learning more about how they make all of their wares. So I hope you enjoyed this little shop tour. I hope it gave you a good insight into where these knives exactly are coming from. We source them right from Shigeki Tanakas. Obviously, they come straight from Japan to us here in Canada. So we're very proud to be able to offer such amazing knives made with such love and care to you guys, our wonderful customers. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to our channel for more knife related content. Until the next one, stay sharp.